So just like her counterpart, Rogue is gonna be one of them characters that's crazy hard to learn in this game. When I tell y'all she's got so much to her damn kit, if you haven't watched one of the other videos and this is your first encounter with watching somebody use Rogue and break it down, I'm telling you right now, G, she got so much to her kit, it's crazy. First thing that you already notice when you see Rogue, besides her crazy physique, is that 5-star difficulty. Rogue, I'm telling y'all, she ain't nothing to play with in a lot of ways. And before we really jump into it too, for anybody interested, this is what the lore logo looks like. So y'all know what her lore icon is now. There you go. Demons out there that's gonna have it in like 2 hours, go crazy, I guess. But let's do a quick little speed run of her ability. She got her left click, which is just gonna essentially turn her into Mike Tyson in his prime. So be ready. She's got her dash ability, which when you activate it again after you make contact with somebody, or if you don't make contact with somebody, it's gonna do damage for a short period of time, then it's gonna pull them in closer to Rogue, do a nice little big shot of damage, and then you can still rock them, sock them all day long if you want to. Then she's got her chrono kick combo. This is the one where she dashes towards an enemy, launches them in the air, and when she does that, she gets 2 like air kicks. Kind of think of it like Deku in My Hero, where he shoots air out of his legs. That's basically what Rogue is doing. She get 2 of them. And then you get to choose whether you want to slam to the ground or just slowly and gracefully fall down to the ground yourself. Now, something to keep in mind with this ability is you can also low-key, not really, but you do low-key fly with this ability. So you can kind of use it to move around. And the kicks, they got about an 18 to a 17 meter range on them, so you can have a little bit of distance when you kick in the air at them and then crash down on them, you know what I'm saying? So there's that. She's got her own kind of shield. It does go down fast, that gauge for it, so be careful with that. But the more damage that she absorbs, when you then hold the shield and you decide to right click, she gonna have her little Texas Smash. I don't know what the real name for it is, but we gonna call it Texas Smash. I think it's just Southern Brawl or something like that. And if you make contact with that, you also are going to get a little bit of overshield, so that's nice. Then the next ability that she got is her absorption. Not every single character that she knocks down and absorb is going to give her their abilities. Some of them she just might get the perks of having extra damage for absorbing a certain DPS, or maybe one of the supports, instead of getting one of their abilities, she'll just get their healing over time perk. It's one of those things with the trade-off. But that alone, the fact that you get to pick up anybody's ability and then basically use that to the fullest, that changes the game, boy. And then obviously her ultimate, Heartbreaker, which continuously absorbs the ultimate energy from nearby enemies and steals stats based on that enemy's role or enemies. Y'all catch my drift when I say she is a complicated character, because that's just like saying what the abilities are and kind of letting you know what they do, not mentioning like learning combos, learning when and when not to do certain abilities. I can tell you this off rip, don't just be trying to spam the absorption ability, because you're gonna have to wait 25, damn near 30 seconds for that to come back. And if you miss, you just miss, and now you've got a wasted ability that you can't get back for another 25 seconds. Oh, and let me not forget the fact that she's got the team up with Gambit, which basically when you activate it, when you're near an enemy, you're gonna do damage to multiple enemies in the area. And then when you're around your allies, you'll heal them over time. So that's also a nice little perk. A few tips to keep in mind when you playing this Rogue, and some things that I noticed were, if you use your dash ability, and I'm talking about the Fatal Attraction one, not the one where she launches somebody in the air. When you using the Fatal Attraction dash ability, before you activate it again, you guys are gonna see there's this little gray ring at the top of it. And that's pretty much letting you know that's how much time you got to activate the ability again before it just runs out, and now that's the end of it. You can't do it again until the timer refreshes. So that's something that you got to keep track of, and you really want to kind of micromanage that. And even when it comes to the chrono kick, now this is the one where you do launch them in the air, just know you don't necessarily have to immediately kick them. You can kick them into the air and then drop to the ground, and you'll still get your 2 kicks. Or you can kick them up into the air, and let's say for example somebody's shooting at you, you can block while you floating in the air, and you can still then use your 2 kicks, or you can use the smash, or vice versa, however you decide to use it. Another thing that you can do while you in the air is use your original dash ability. You can then activate it one more time to kind of have people come towards you. So that's something else you get to keep in mind, and then you still get to decide on whether or not to use the kicks or the slam or whatever the case may be. to mix in some combos. You could also use your absorption while you in the air after you use the kick to put them up there. So that's something else to keep in mind. And another key factor to keep in mind too, y'all, is the absorption ability. You can aim it vertically and grab somebody. So like Strange or like a Storm or one of the flying characters. But it does not have crazy range like that, so don't think that you just gonna launch into the air like the Thing does with one of his abilities and just grab onto one of the enemies like that. It don't work like that, okay? What I would recommend, if you trying to catch somebody in the air and steal their ability, you would have to use the combo kick to get yourself up there vertically, fly towards them, probably block and protect yourself some, and then use the absorption. Again, if you miss, you just missed and you shit out of luck. But you still do have your 2 kicks and your slams, so I guess it's not all bad. For the Southern Brawl, what I didn't mention is you guys are going to see there's a meter on the side of your shield meter, and that's going to be a green bar. The more that fills up, the more damage you'll have when you actually do your little Texas Smash attack the next time around. So if you save or conserve some of your shield if possible, you can do it. But I noticed that it's really challenging. Like, I was going up against some of the bots who were using Punisher, and then the times that I got in with some real players, they were using them a little bit, and Punisher can push out a lot of damage to where it's gonna drain your shield immediately. So it's a little bit of a challenge. But if you are able to get that punch off in time, you're gonna see a nice little chunk of damage come off of somebody's health, because again, you've gotten your green meter charged all the way up, giving you the ultimate Texas Smash. And again, just remember, you also gonna get a little bit of overshield, so that's nice and something that you really want to keep in mind. Kind of like how when you're playing Magic and you know you can mess around with your overshield and you got a little bit of extra health. Speaking of a little bit of extra health, when you activate your ultimate, I wasn't sure about this at first. I seen it happen twice, and you around the enemies and everything like that. Obviously, you know it's doing tick damage over time because it's absorbing all their abilities and stuff like that. But it was also giving me a little bit of heal over time. And if you don't believe me, look at this clip right here. The health was going up, and I hadn't done anything to like steal somebody's ability and siphon their ability to heal myself. That's just one of the perks that comes with the Heartbreak ability. Because again, remember y'all, it says continuously absorb ultimate ability energy from nearby enemies and steal stats based on those rolls. That's gonna be your ace, you know what I mean? Like, it's not like that ability is just activate and you a Scarlet Witch and it's killing everybody around you, you know what I mean? You definitely want to time that up and use it at the appropriate time. So maybe if you have a Gambit on your team, you pair your ultimate up with Gambit's ultimate. Now you're doing a little bit of extra damage on top of the damage that your ult's doing, you doing. You can still use your abilities to push out a little bit more damage. You can still use your absorb ability if you have it, and that'll give you a little bit of health. The fact that you absorbing from somebody and their ability, you know what I mean? Like, it's a lot you can do with it. Or if you want to use it when there's a Groot ult out there, you can do that too. You can do so much with it. You can team up with Moon Knight because he didn't get nerfed this season. So if Moon Knight uses his ultimate and you dash in there with your regular shift and then you pull people closer to you, now you activate your ultimate, doing some damage over time. Moon Knight's damage is coming down, hitting them. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of ways you want to pair it. But just trying to solo ult with Rogue, I don't know how much value, unless you cracked out your mind, I just don't know how much value you're going to provide to a team if you're trying to use it selfishly. You know what I mean? Like, it don't do enough damage to take out a tank, and you'd have to super focus them to do any real damage to them. And with the supports and the DPS, well, that just depends. You know, if the supports is keeping them up, the DPS ain't gonna go down. If the supports is playing patty cake, it's gonna be a little bit harder. Again, you got to focus them and do some attacks and get off good damage with your abilities and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, I think right now the most value you'll get out of her ult is when you pair it with someone else's. But basically, that's the quick little crash course I got for y'all when it comes to Rogue, man. Again, it's still early for me. I ain't learned every little thing, but I'm telling y'all that just that little bit that I was teaching y'all right now or trying to put y'all on game with, I'm telling you, dog, that shit is not it's crazy, especially when you get into a game and it's fast paced and you in a competitive match. Now you got to be on your toes. That's where you gonna really see yourself slip. And then niggas is gonna call you out talking about you trash, you ain't this, you ain't that. Why you pick a new character if you don't know what you doing with them yet? That's when you gonna see it. So I do recommend you get out there and you practice. Maybe play the 18v18 mode first. You know what I'm saying? Like really get a good feel for Rogue in that. Shit, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I ain't even gonna cap. That's what I'm about to do. Take this, do what you will with it. Hope it helped you out. And I look forward to catching you on the next one.